to bring their draft to life at least. And now there's a Necrophos as well. So I am skeptical about how efficient NAVI Junior can be, and it's why I kind of lean on what you were saying, where because of the Necrophos, because of the axe, we expect MoneyMakers to make those big money moves, but already NAVI Junior invading the triangle.
Yeah, they are up there right now. PM8 leading the charge. They're going for the gyrocopter glimpse back as well, and that'll allow them to get the kill. Big Nem, he's jumped into this to try and help out his gyro, but might just be heading down the same way as well, but they're out of abilities. A heal comes out from the Necro as well, just to keep the Marcy nice and safe. And that will put an end to things, and it's just a singular little kill. Doesn't matter too much for the gyro, but the first blood going towards Daze, it's all right, I guess. Lion first blood, not something I'm writing home about.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a salve, maybe an extra blood grenade down the line. That's nothing to scarf about.
We'll see how he puts the money to use, but yeah, it is salve and sentry straight up the back. Could finish his wand as well if he wants to here, but yeah, holding on to that money. A little bit of fighting going on for the bounty rune as Lucas again taking a bit of damage. Yeah, nothing major coming on through this lane phase. So how are our side lanes looking then, T?
I'd argue very passive, right, in nature. Like, you have an Underlord in one lane with a Lion behind. Lion is one of these heroes that brings every offlaner into the lane, right? You have double defensive spells. It's super hard to lock onto a hero with that damage. And then Underlord naturally pushes out waves, has his atrophy aura. So super hard to kill him often. And then you look towards bot lane, what, you got a glimpse to disengage, the mana shield of Medusa. Like, NAVI Junior, super tanky. But the supports can die. Yeah, that's what I was kind of going to allude to. It's like the big boys are in the lane, but the supports are the only ones that can be potentially dying. And as I'm about to get to that point, he already takes away and dies in top lane.
You got to be faster. You got to be switched on.
Okay, Slayer's in the bot lane, going to potentially die as well. There we go. Are you happy now?
Yeah,
I can speed cast. It's minute 1, mate. I don't want to be too quick.
Yeah, support's taking a hammering in both of these lanes at the moment. That's the thing, Marcy always gives you kill potential, you know, if you go and trade with her, if she manages to get within range, then dispose into just any other ability is such a deadly combo, because we all know what repositioning is like. It's so strong, and dispose is a massive one.
Yeah, nice. Killing 3 of the creeps as well, so they're going to keep lane equilibrium in a pretty decent spot, but not blocking off the hard camp from MoneyMakers, meaning the lanes are just get equally pushed up. See how much damage this is, and also bot lane Slayer dies. Yeah, supports are the ones dying in this lane, and I expect that to be occurring everywhere.
Ooh, Lucas getting very, very low. They're just trying to stand their ground and fight here, the two of them, but I mean, it's early level still in these abilities with flat cannon, and I'm shaking, Tia, pause.
Oh no.
No, not again.
You know, we have that like triple lane technology. I feel like we should just be using that right now, because these players just keep punching non-stop, like rather than our poor observer having to flip from top to bot, that's just rude.
Observers have it easy. They get the free pass, you know. The easiest job in the game, I'd say.
It's only got to click 10 buttons, right? There's only 10 heroes. Just hero lock and go, isn't that what they do? I joke. You're very good. You're very good. No man's gone flaming. You, not me, not me. I love you all. But of course, the matchup that we expected to go south was this Necrophos versus Ember Spirit. 14 for 2 to only the 7-1 for Toshi B. And this will only get harder for him as the spam comes out.
Yeah, Necro's a very annoying laner. Every time you think you're getting him low, he's going to throw out a Death Pulse. Every time you think you're getting a range last hit, he throws out a Death Pulse. It's a lot of Death Pulse.
Yeah, it's a one-dimensional thing. He's also looking to go for the Vessel on the Necrophos against the tanky heroes like Underlord. He naturally buys just regeneration for his team as well. It's going to really help with this pickoff. Big every time we talk about it.
Yeah, he's going to get brought down again here. That damage is way too much to fight into. He's trying to hold his ground, but not really able to hold it.
The CS is really awkward for MoneyMakers. 9 for the gyrocopter, 6 for the axe. Like, they're not doing too well in the lanes. Just so much aggression. Yeah, you might get a kill here and there, but you're not really netting that stable economy that you get from just hitting down the lane creeps. And NAVI Junior, they need to pull out ahead in laning phase to stabilize the need to just continue farming. Like, they're not leaving lanes and going, Medusa, Underlord, let's go gank the map. It's like, no, you win your lanes, you make stacks, and you just continue farming until you hit like a boiling point to then be a little bit more explosive.
And that's what it's going to be about this game, especially. Yeah, top lane really just feels like a kind of a power level measuring competition, you know, like all their spells are going to land, you know. Like, admittedly, Dave's got a really nice 2-man spike in the last fight, but most of the time it's going to be like how strong is Flat Cannon plus Sidekick versus Firestorm plus Earth Spike, and well, so far it has been the Firestorm plus Earth Spike, but we'll see how this continues to grow through the lane. Meanwhile, mid, Ember continuing to get just absolutely kicked in the middle lane. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, but I'm like, do I really want to bring it up again? Let Ember's Spirit just suffer. There's always moments though when Necrophos see his positioning, that like one TP from a disruptor, get that glimpse back, line wraps around, like the Necrophos can die. It's just setting up your side lanes to then provide yourself that opportunity, and it's so difficult, especially when Necro hits 6 and there's that Scythe. I mean, he's only a quarter level away from being able to surprise the Ember, and well aware of that. We're just going to walk back to base.
I'm not sure I've seen that before. Fortifying under the enemy tower because he knows that he can just zone him away from the creep wave with one more death pulse. So he just fortifies to stop him getting the 2 CS, forces him back, means he can only get 1 CS with the Slender Fist before going back to base. It's so brutal.
It's on top.
Yeah, up in the top lane. And moving on to the Gyrocopter, the rotation in from the support is going to be very nice. Another Earthbite coming out from Daze, only getting the doubles right now, but Lucas, they're needing a little bit more and they're not going to get it. The Gyrocopter's going to get away. Now Slayer comes in, looking to really stack up these poisons right now, but runs out of mana, so won't be able to keep it going, meaning PMA should be okay. Oh, Gyro comes back in. He doesn't get the kill, though. Doesn't have enough damage on Daze as Bignum tries to take another fight here, and the Glimpse is back off cooldown, so he will be the one to die. Finally, they get something for the support rotation up at top.
A little bit awkward of engagement there. It's just not a very well-placed Firestorm to actually kill off the Gyrocopter, but that reluctance to stop going, and yeah, here they go. Go on, get the Gyrocopter finally.
Get him, the Firestorm.
One more.
Click. Oh, he gets it. Lion, the king. He gets it done. And that'll also bring down Slayer as well. So huge win for NAVI Junior up here in the top lane.
Yeah, just if you fail a gank, just keep going, and eventually the gank's going to connect. I think that's the ethos of NAVI Junior here, at least. And
yeah, Daze is so persistent. Like he's just constantly finding the 2-man Earth Spikes and then finding the Gyrocopter in the tree line.
Yeah, already 850 gold to his name. Like he's kind of getting close to Blink Dagger. Like pre-10 minutes, if you can get around 1400 gold, glimpsing back the axe though.
Yeah,
Mystic Snake.
He gone.
Sure, he has 30 CS, but not having the Vanguard, of course, around a 7-minute mark. This is the point where you naturally just go behind the wave, behind the tower, keep skipping up, but yeah, just really poor start to the laning phase, just delayed all his timings. I love the fact that NAVI Junior are playing around this Underlord. Like, the early Firestorm is pretty potent, and with the double lockdown of Line Disruptor, they are just making the moves. And I guess the only sad part of all of this is the Ember then can't join in as well, because if he leaves, the Necrophos is just right-clicking his tower. So this Ember, for probably one of the first few times we've seen in the qualifiers, is locked into mid lane where he can't rotate. Like, unless he gets a haste rune or some super insane positioning around mid lane, he will never be able to truly rotate. And that's why you see the supports kind of doing the heavy lifting for NAVI Junior right now. Yeah,
they are. They're moving around. It's a lot of rotations, a lot more than I was expecting, to be honest with you, but yeah, making the Gyrocopter feel very threatened up at top, and that's what we want to see throughout this game, you know, just constantly shutting down this Gyro, not giving him a chance to take off in this game. With this Mousy, you can do so much work. Mid lane, meanwhile, Igor. Yeah, I know Zatoshi's got that level 6, so very hard to bring down, so just tries to go through him into Riddies instead. Keep the supports low, and then they can't really play as aggressively, lest they end up dead. Very good plan.
Axel instantly taking up the stacks in the dire triangle. That was a quad stack on the hard camp. has the Vanguard complete. Normally at this point in the game, you sometimes, at least if there wasn't a Necro, Ember would be maybe having the ability to move over, especially with his current build of 4 points Flame Guard. You throw like some Underlord TP with his ultimate plus the Ember, you can contest him, but Underlord wasn't level 6. Of course, I've already mentioned how Ember Spirit is relatively locked into just pushing out mid and doing whatever Necroforce tells him to do. So MoneyMakers being a little bit more efficient, I feel like, in the jungle. Disruptor now trying to also make up some stacks himself. A lot of kills, but also very quiet, if that makes sense. It's like a lot of kills that haven't netted into any momentum, really. It's like, oh, we're just killing you, back to hitting creeps, which I'm not opposed to. I'm really happy with this playstyle.
Yeah, it's either off or it's on, you know. There's not constant skirmishing and fighting going on. It's either we're going for a kill or we're trying to be efficient. And that's what you expect into a Gyrocopter and a Medusa draft. It's going to be interesting just following these two carries throughout the game. For the start, you know, it has gone to got the juice so far. You know, all the action's been happening in the top side, and yeah, this Medusa already just rocking up with the Yasha and 600 gold on top of that as well, so amount of time is going to be a bit ridiculous. MoneyMakers have to have their eye on this. They have to do something or have some sort of plan to deal with this Medusa before she gets out of control.
It's been a long time since I've seen a Medusa, and I kind of forgot she had like 200 HP. I was like, oh yeah. You know, when it just clicks sometimes, and she's got to be careful, of course. If Axe decided to go have a little look in the jungle,
kill her, yeah.
She could the Axe could just one-hit her right now, but of course, this is a competitive game. This isn't the pub. We're probably not going to see that interaction.
Fighting the haste rune here as Eagle comes just plowing on it. I think he wants to drop a Reaper Scythe down here, and there you go. Reddy's, he's gone.
He was hungry to use it. Mate, he's had this for so long, and it's the first one we've seen of the game. He's going to permanent 2 HP regen.
Well, he grabbed the urn as well, so
yeah,
getting 2 charges on that urn and getting that stack of Reaper Scythe, very, very valuable.
200 gold away from his vessel. I'd like to see MoneyMakers try and utilize this Necrophos. He's had an exceptional start, but neither team really trying to cross the river too much and make the bigger plays. We're seeing both offlaners farming the hard camp, and then on top of that, the Ancients are getting prepared for the Gyrocopter on one side, the Medusa on the other. Thing is Axe with his Blade Mail really going to be a big enough timing? And instead here, he was chopping and changing. He had Blade Mail queued up, then he looked for his Blink, and I think the Blink is going to be the better option. You have the Vessel and the Necro, the Blink on the Axe. That gives yourself quite a healthy timing to go look for the fight, but that's still minutes away. And NAVI Junior, they sense their ability to be a little bit more proactive on the map, and they're smoked up as 3 right now. Hoping to find Lucas.
Can't believe that the Medusa is getting away with this. Like, all they need is 1 stun for the Axe to close the gap, then you can just cull her down 100 to 0. She didn't go for any health items, which you're supposed to versus Axe, but she's not being punished for it. Meanwhile, Big Them up the top side getting killed off, and that will be a nice one picked up for the Ember Spirit. But yeah, MoneyMakers, you need to do something about this Medusa. Like, you can't ignore her.
No. Maybe the argument is the Gyrocopter can mirror her farm speed once he gets to that Crystallis Axe timing, but then the trade-off will be Medusa will probably have Manta Butterfly with this logic, and I'd rather kind of be on the side of the Butterfly Medusa, who's taking Roshan and maybe even tickling your tier 3s, compared to the Gyrocopter, who is going to be chasing the net worth of his opposing carry. And it's refreshing to say that, because I think we've seen so many games where Gyrocopter has been #1 net worth, kind of trying to be this fake alchemist and excelling at it beautifully, just never falling off the top CS spot. But yeah, in this game, we are going to see a rare Gyrocopter having to get back into the game, and we'll see if the hero is truly broken or not, because if you can't get back into the game after this kind of disparity on farm, then there is something pretty good either about Lucas or the hero.
Yeah. I mean, I think we also got to take into account, you know, the heroes where Medusa...
Oh, what a big blink!
Nice call onto 2. This is the reveal you're looking for. Lucas looking to follow up as well. Big Them in the mix as well. Sure, they've just lost 2. Like, that's brutal. EMA and Days just absolutely gone.
Yeah, what a beautiful choice from BB3PX to go for that blink dagger. Smoke with the team. And yeah, Gyrocopter well placed little throw down, a cheeky little cooldown, be ready with the team, and nice moves. I guess as well, when you look at the net worth, for NAVI Junior, if they're not careful, if they get picked off again, this game easily could become the Medusa +4 supports who are trying to help the Medusa win the game, right? And that's never really what you want to be. Like, we're hyping up this farm, you know, got the juice, has plenty of CS and economy, but he needed his team to also be there with him, otherwise quite easy to kite him out, especially with SD on the other side of the team, right? One disruption, take away that's, oh, wait a second, it's just clicked. A Medusa who normally goes man to butterfly against SD with disruption, you can't normally do that because you give your illusions evasion, right? Yeah. But you need it against the gyrocopter who's heavily physical. So this Medusa really gonna have to decide how to spend her money. If she spends it on one wrong item, it doesn't matter if you have a 4k advantage over your opponent. It's just gonna be wasted gold. So interesting to see how he does choose to go here. I think he's going Skadi to obviously not give the evasion to his illusions, but yeah, that does actually kind of hinder Medusa's kind of game plan.
Definitely does, yeah. We'll see how that kind of develops through the game. At the same time, it's not going to be one of those games where we're saying like, oh, this Medusa's got so much farm but can't put it to use. Like, she absolutely can. Like, the entire team on the side of NAVI Junior seems to be built around this Medusa and slowing people down, catching them in their AoE slow abilities and stuff, so
never smoke up.
Worried about that. But yeah, they're looking for the Medusa. They're going to find the Ember. They're not, actually. The call comes in too early whilst the Sleight of Fist is going on. A little lucky there from Toshi as he had no idea, but he does get himself out.
Well, another pause. Nomad, why are we cursed with all the pauses? I don't know if you tuned in yesterday, but we had 3 versions of the same game that we had to recreate 2 times due to lag. But hopefully that isn't the case here today.
I hope not. There's been no communication this time, which is interesting. Just pausing with no reasons. Maybe
yeah, I think a lot more younger players here, where they're chill. I think the older players in the scene are probably a little bit more, well, actually, back in 2016, we did it this way, you know? So I think maybe the cooler, fresh talent are a bit more accepting for the rulebook.
Yeah, just chilling out. Also, I think it's a regional thing as well, you know, like in certain regions, I don't know where a lot of these players are playing from, but, you know, connections are sometimes not as stable, or yeah, you just got to deal with it, roll with the punches a bit. More normalized. So, Medusa now using this this Manta to shove down this bottom tier 1 tower. And it shall go down. No response so far from MoneyMakers. Yax currently on the other side of the map, and that is a hero that needs to be playing around right now, but he wants to get this blade mail up and completed, which I'm not too sure about. I kind of want to go and see him get involved. They commit now onto the Medusa. They're just throwing everything they've got at her. She's running out of mana. The snake comes back though, heals her up, and now the damage coming out from her. They turn it around. Oh, beautiful disruption, dodging out the damage. Days, and now the scythe comes down and they'll got the juice. Holy moly, Slayer dodging the finger damage, saving the gyrocopter's life, and now they need to get themselves out. Radiant on the run, and it doesn't look like I'll be catching any more on that, but I would love to get a replay on that one because that was insane.
That's the value of SD, of course, and for NAVI Junior, maybe the argument was, are they breaking for the bigger fight a little bit too early? Are they maybe not an item away from their heroes? The Underlord, the Ember, they've not had such a good game compared to Dusa. It's not really able to protect. Dusa dying, that's not what you want to see. Like, Dusa had about 3,000 gold advantage over Gyrocopter. You got to treat it as any death can easily throw Gyrocopter straight back into the mix, and quite the blunder there from them.
We haven't spoke about it too much, but the sidekick, you know, it's a big difference maker because it's basically like a mini IO for your gyro, so his net worth is not entirely indicative of how strong he is in this game. And now, blade mail complete on the axe. It's going to give him more fighting potential.
And axe complete on gyro. Lucas is happily caught back up. We'll give it, you know what, 2 minutes and you'll probably see Gyrocopter even with this Medusa.
Yeah, pretty insane. And Igor as well, just kind of the linchpin of these fights, just plonking himself in the middle. pumping out them death pulses, and every little bit of healing was so vital in that engagement. I mean, that could have been the game-defining engagement if MoneyMakers are able to turn it around from there.
Yeah, I think if NAVI Junior, they don't lose their Medusa, right? If they actually get to take the fight a little bit better. Again, I don't think they should be fighting, but let's say in a different scenario, the fight goes their way. They're maybe, you know, looking at that tier 2, they're taking away a bit of triangle pressure, but it just feels just forced. I don't think it, for their type of lineup, it's not what you need to see. I think if you have a BKB on Ember, some pipe on Underlord, then yeah, 100%. Throw your heroes into the mix and give it a go, but it just isn't their time to make these types of calls. And yeah, MoneyMakers, they're going to jump at the opportunity to see a Medusa who's kind of not fully online yet, cross the river and put herself in a vulnerable position.
Yeah, it's a gift on which NAVI Junior should not have given them, but we'll see how it affects the trajectory of the game. Of course, there's still NAVI Junior with a slight advantage in this one. I'm interested to see the impact of this Necrophos and, like, you know, what's his key timing where we have to be scared of this hero?
I think he's just going to be that constant in the entire game, right? Like, he'll always be there. He'll always have that vessel. He'll always just be buffing up his team. And then at any minute, he just hits that one clutch scythe to follow up on an axe call, and then, like, Ember's deleted or Underlord's deleted. And now you've either lost your auras or the backline jumper. But I think it's not going to be one of those Necro games where it's, like, incredible the entire time, like a real showy performance, but you'll just feel the scythe. I mean, you can already see how he just scythed the Deucer as well. No chance to do anything else for her. And now MoneyMakers, they are smoked up. Bignum leading the charge. Lucas doesn't have the BKB, but it doesn't matter. You've got your team around you.
Just picked up this Skadi as well, though, so pretty scary. I think MoneyMakers will be happy with just kind of zoning them out of the area rather than going for a fully fledged fight.
Really good discipline to back out there. Some teams would be like, oh, we've got him, but oh, now they're under wards.
Oh, Axe, he tried to time the blink perfectly, but wasn't quite able to do so, and now he's going to pay the price. Down he goes. Once again, Glimpse, just an absolutely beautiful spell in this sort of situation. They have that high ground vision, which admittedly I feel like shouldn't be there for NAVI Junior. MoneyMakers just walked to and fro from that area. And yeah, Shadow Demon didn't do anything about it, so...
Yeah, it's easy to kind of lose focus on the vision game, especially when you're coordinating the team to make the smoke, discussing how you want to take the engagement. It's on your supports to kind of subconsciously think, okay, where's the wards, where are we dewarding? And sometimes it kind of, you do have that lapse in judgment. And yeah, NAVI Junior sweeping across the map together. But again, MoneyMakers, a lot of discipline to not just rush into the fight and hope to go for it. They dive top, instantly reset to bot, trying to get that Roshan. And some might say NAVI Junior are a little bit too far away from this to actually contest it. And even if they were closer, should they be contesting it? These big items that I've been talking about still aren't really on the card yet for them, so should just be a free Aegis for Lucas.
Looks like it will be, yeah. Very interesting. So MoneyMakers, they don't come and defend their tier 2 tower. NAVI Junior, they don't come and contest the Roshan.
Ooh. I don't know if I'm a fan of this, by the way. Look at Underlord. Look what he's queued up. He's going for maybe a Yule. Oh. And I love Yules against Axe in the first 28 minutes of the game. But as soon as you hit that kind of 30-minute mark when Axe has BKB, Yules is relatively useless, right? Actually, no, it's just useless because Axe blink BKBs and Blade Mails. Like, you can't save your hero. Of course, a Wind Waker way down the line, very, very good. But I just feel like this is it's a clunky timing for this Underlord to go for. Also, there's an SD in the game, so we'll see if he commits for this itemization. But I don't think it's
phenomenal, wouldn't it? But like, good lord, we're looking at like a long time into the future.
And there's still the SD, like I mentioned. So it's like, is it really that good? I don't know. I feel like I'd rather see. I mean, if Halberd was still a good item, probably you'd buy a Halberd, right, to prevent Gyro from hitting. But the fact that you now can just BKB off the Halberd, it scares a lot of offlaners, a lot of core heroes from wanting to buy the item. This isn't an easy game for Underlord to itemize, but I would kind of like to see him do like the Amar style of Underlord, where he plays more for himself, like one cheap aura. Because also, like, Pipe doesn't really help Medusa, right? Like, it doesn't go through her HP, right? So her mana shield. So it's like after. So it's useless. So buying Pipe is great for his Ember, but not for the Medusa. So like, why not just become another real hero where you could maybe go for like Nullifier, Blink, Overwhelming Blink, that type of hero where you just suddenly jump on the back lines. Like, of course, there's a lot of items I'm talking about, but it does take a lot of confidence for your offlaner to pivot from the standard, I need to buy the auras because I am the Underlord. This probably would have been the game.
It's like the make or break point of a lot of offlaners, I feel like, depending on what their read is on the game and like in this specific circumstance. You know, when you have to be a bit more creative, when you can't just do the cookie cutter build. Obviously, trash tier is just doing the cookie cutter build anyway, and then mid tier is like coming up with something different. Yeah. And God tier has come up with something different, which then also helps you win the game, which we'll see if this is it. Not convinced, but we will reserve our judgments until we see it in action.
I'm down for like the world's best Yules usage. And I'm like, oh my god, this item's broke. Like, I'm down for that time, like, woo, okay. Yeah, this... Is there anything else spicy occurring? And of course, as I say that, they smoke up on the side of Moneymakers. BKB complete on the gyrocopter. Aegis still online for about 2 and a bit minutes. So of course, Lucas wants to throw himself into the mix.
Ew, these pesky Medusas.
Yeah, Adusa, who's also about to complete Daedalus, may I add. Only 500 gold away.
Neat.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
He's also very awkwardly trying to solo Tormentor.
Yeah, she's not going to be able to do this, is she?
And the crew rocked up.
The team comes in. Don't worry, friend. We're here.
It was one of the more awkward ones I've seen. Lions there, like, trying to mana drain, like, please, I'm trying to help.
Yeah.
That's so underwhelming, actually.
Full duration mana drain on her, and it's
just nothing.
Gee, that is very underwhelming. At least he got the shard now, though, so he can mana drain her, well, mana drain everybody else, and then mana spit on her at the same time. It's a transfer of mana from enemy to friendly. Wowee. Probably not a great shard to get. They would have much preferred the Disruptor shard. Also kind of bad. Not good options for it. Not good options.
Most amazing. There's times where the shard is very good, right, against illusion heroes and stuff, but in this game it's pretty whatever.
Yeah. Well, Jara continuing his aggression as he just goes and plinks away at the bottom tier 2 tower. Not really too bothered.
Yep, Aegis is still up for 28 seconds, so the final moment for Lucas to take the tower. And of course, with flag cannon, if you stand too close to a neutral camp, it will then flak there as well. So it kind of shows where your wards are if you're in range, these neutral camps. Lucas did kind of show that someone was standing just below him. It doesn't matter anyways, because NAVI Junior got the juice is also hitting the tier 2 as well, but in the mid lane.
It's a great name.
It's a pretty good name, especially with it all being lowercase. Like, that's just like, he's logged online one day, he's like, what do I want to be called? Got the juice, done. Like, he's not even thinking about it. He's not like, oh, I need a capital here and a exclamation mark there. It's just a clean, simple name. Man's got the juice.
Also, fishing for a juice sponsorship down the road as well. So, you know, Tropicana, Capri-Sun, get at him. Slide the DMs.
Oh, I'm trying to remember the good Ukrainian juice brands. I think Got the Juice is Ukrainian. Let me double check. Hell yeah, he is. Let's go.
Amazing.
And I'm Googling Ukrainian juice brands. It's Jaffa. I knew one. There you go.
Jaffa, like the
Yeah, but it's not the Jaffa cake. It was really confusing my first year in Ukraine. I was like, wait, what? Jaffa? Don't they make the cakes?
Center of Jaffa cake and turn them into juice.
There we go. Don't worry, Medusa. Got the juice. We're doing all the heavy lifting here. We're really trying to get you this.
Hit him up. You got the digit.
Someone in...
Actually, we'll be his agents. We'll take 25%, right?
Oh, I'll take 1% if you get the Jaffa sponsorship.
Yeah.
Come on.
Just send me a box of Jaffa cakes everywhere.
There we go. Again, different company. Very different company.
Chef Cake's even in... That might just be a British thing, actually. Everyone might be really confused now.
No, they do. It's just not named the same. But the soft biscuity with a juicy center and a chocolate topping is very international.
Universal thing. Okay.
It is, yeah. Because again, many of them. And as you can tell, guys, we're in a little bit of a stalemate in the game.
Yeah.
And MoneyMakers, they're bored of the drivel. They're going to go for the initiation onto top.
Play. Absolutely, yeah. Moving on to the Underlord, and the ultimate from the Disruptor only really catching out the Necrophos. So Itoshi tries to follow up now, but meanwhile the Underlord is already gone. Got the juice, cuts down Bignum, looking towards Lucas now. It's a carry battle, and Lucas decides he can't take it. Trying to get himself away. He's got a BKB, he's got a Satanic. Going to use the first of which now, as the scream comes out from the Medusa immediately in response to that BKB, meaning he just can't turn around and use that Satanic to heal up, but he does still get away from the fight. Very interesting engagement from both these teams. Only a support dying on each, but watching Got the Juice and Lucas kind of fight each other was pretty key to how this one's kind of turning out. It's Got the Juice to just kind of tear him a new one.
Yeah, I mean, Gyrocopter, he wants to stand his ground, right? He wants to get right into the middle of the fight, and something that we didn't really discuss is Stone Gaze. When you're BKB'd from the Gyrocopter trying to get into the middle, you're just going to get turned to stone. You can't right-click. So another reason why Medusa, when you're ahead in net worth, is probably one of the better hero matchups. On Pro Tracker, Gyrocopter has like a 58% win rate against Medusa, probably because of how quick Gyro farms, and you might just close out the games a little bit easier than in competitive. But yeah, Got the Juice, able to hold this top net worth spot the entire time, and show how he's able to just muscle up against one of the patch's favorite heroes right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very impressive. I'm enjoying NAVI Junior's performance a lot here in this game, number one, and also how well MoneyMakers are playing into them as well.
You want to update on the Underlord and where he's going now?
Yes, please.
Yeah, he bought the Void Stone for yours. Someone told him not to do it, and now he's going for the BKB.
What an awkward infantry. He's got a Soul Ring, a Void Stone, just a Vanguard hanging out in there. I mean, that one's kind of fine for the early game. A Cloak.
He's had no item progression now for nearly like 10 minutes of the game, basically. That's like how he's approached it, and both teams posturing for Roshan. It's going to respawn in 2 minutes, so not really the best Roshan fight, but whoever is able to come out ahead of this should be able to control the area.
Yeah, it's whether they get another chance to fight, even if it does go wrong. So immediately getting that disruption out onto the Medusa, which is going to cause her a lot of issues, and basically lose Big Hand. But look at this, Necro on the front lines, but out comes a Ghost Shroud and jump away with that...
Oh, they got a Stone Gaze from Gyrocopter!
Oh no, Gyro, he needs help, he needs it now, and he's all going to get it. He's got the juice, just comes around the sidelines and solos the enemy carry. That is not legal. Well, trying to back away. Her own illusions are now doing her a whole lot of hurt. And in comes the Necrophos. He smells blood and he wants to try and finish the job here. But PMA's coming over as well. It's a lot of damage, but in comes a Reaper side. They need a little bit more, but they are going to bring him down. PMA to follow as well. Who needs a Gyrocopter anyway? MoneyMakers, they get it done without him.
Oh, I do love how MoneyMakers took that fight.
Shut up. You know what? No. I was about to say Matchmakers again. I see MM, and that's just in my head, dude.
It doesn't matter. Bignum, though, what an incredible fight from him. You know, he gets to triple kill, he wraps around, and of course, Gyrocopter is to fall at the start of the fight. But it doesn't really matter because the positioning was so awkward. Eagle was able to lock onto Medusa. Meanwhile, Marcy just kind of clubbing away on the supports, and that will always be the scary point in the game where Lion, Disruptors, these heroes hate playing against Marcy because at any point you just get this overwhelming amount of damage thrown on top of you. And it will only get harder when BKB comes online from Bignum, but that is ways away.
I do enjoy the 10k difference in damage dealt in that fight between the two teams. One team is hammering into a mana shield. Yeah. The other team is hammering into a Gyrocopter with Satanic and a Necrophos with all these heals and such. So
yeah, we're gonna have some padded damage in this game for sure.
Absolutely.
And it helps as well. Like the start of the fight, Slayer just disrupted the Medusa, so she had to then deal with the double illusions. She got rocketed, so she couldn't instantly kill off the Necrophos. There's a lot of small things that prevented.
Here we go though.
The bigger fight.
Long Roshan fight, and yeah, he has now respawned, and NAVI Junior are back in the mix, so they can look to try and control this area. What cooldowns are we looking at here? I mean, it's really just the Reaper's side, which is 8 seconds away, so...
We're going to reset the fight. How often do you see the identical fight go again? And MoneyMakers still have the high ground vision here. They're smoking up into nothing.
That's kind of crazy, yeah. You need to get this high ground dewarded, but whoever does it is just going to get killed. And Disruption out onto the big lady once again. And now comes a call to follow up as well. BB immediately looking for the target as Lucas gets jumped at the same time as well. They need to take down this Medusa. She's out of mana as PMA just gets absolutely destroyed by the Reaper's side. On the backlines, Daze is gone as well. Same fight, same result. This time even worse for the side of NAVI Junior. It's got the juice, goes down again. Lucas gets a double kill, and that is a huge loss for the...
Oh, we got the Ember too.
NAVI Junior as they take down Tushy once again. And no, that wasn't a replay. We just did the same fight again, guys.
Unfortunately, NAVI Junior just didn't learn from their previous engagement. You know, you don't have clean ways to jump on the back line. You're moving on the low ground area, you haven't dewarded, you smoke up, you then disrupt the Medusa, but there's no way to kill off the illusions. So now Axis, a double hero, big core call with 2 Medusa illusions, with Butterfly, Daedalus, and all the damage to boot, just gripping through them. And how do you take this fight? It's got to be different from NAVI Junior. They need to take it where Ember jumps into the middle, soaks up a little bit of that engagement to then give everyone else purpose, because if you're taking fights like this, then it's probably going to be game over. We're looking at a game 2. MoneyMakers, they are too strong, they are too tanky if NAVI Junior don't execute perfectly.
They just don't seem to have the initiation on the side of NAVI Junior. Like, that's the issue. Like, everything seems so simple from the side of MoneyMakers. Disrupt the Medusa, get the call, and she's in some real trouble. Meanwhile, on the other side, like, you kind of need them to lump up and run at you, and that's not really happening.
Yeah, it's not an easy game. You're expecting, what, Daze on the line to hit some big blink initiation. That was a bit hard. Or some Ember to BKB in and just scream, like, look at me, I'm an Ember. But, like, it's not as if he's killing any heroes. Is what I said. Gyro, Satanic, and Necrophos and Axe. Like, this isn't the Ember game where he's always going to be killing that one hero from the get-go. It will be difficult. They are now 17,000 gold behind. We did have these concerns as the game started, and now they're kind of coming to life a little bit. Oh, he went for Halberd. Ooh. I thought Bignum, after a triple kill and a free Roshan, normally Marcy players like, don't worry boys, I got a BKB, I'll go Basher. Like, you kind of accidentally stumble your way into being another core. You know, he really just hates Medusa.
Keeping an open mind about becoming a core at any point in the game is like a key to any Marcy player. Hold the gun, in we go again, looking for the Medusa. Surely they can keep her alive. Surely they can do something to help out their Medusa. She pops the ultimate. This time she will be able to get away by herself. And now Toshi jumping in as well, just trying to get a the damage off onto this Axe. No one falling yet, but a lot of damage being taken. They maybe want to get this Aegis out of the hands of the Gyrocopter. Got the juice, comes in again, has to be careful. No mana available in this Medusa. If she can just get back to the fountain, heal up and cut back in, that would be ideal. But how long is their base going to hold in that time? Well, without the Aegis, actually, MoneyMakers say, nah, we pass. And they will back themselves away. So good defense coming out from NAVI Junior.
Yeah. That single high ground engagement potentially has just prolonged the game by another 20 minutes plus. The fact that Gyrocopter was instantly kind of, not instantly 100-0, but taken down in a way where it wasn't really ever any major pushback like MoneyMakers.
The fight recap is about... Yeah, you know, casual 17,000 damage done in the entire fight, the entire engagement. All these spells used. Gold change, 0. XP change, 0. Nobody died. Nothing happened. And Aegis got lost.
I think we've had XP change being 0 multiple fight recaps, though. I'm pretty sure that we got some nice happy bugs here. Don't say that. No, we had big issues yesterday. No, it's happily working. They clearly got 0 changes.
No one died.
Yeah, but you never know.
Count like creeps or like natural.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I want all the natural stuff. That is a get that part of the fight. You're saying creeps don't matter? That is disgusting.
Creeps don't matter. Creep lads don't matter.
Poor creeps. They do the same. They have Groundhog Day every single game. They should be factored in. I actually, to be fair, I just assumed it was factored in, but today I learned. Today we learned.
And Tormentor being taken, and wow, Disruptor Shard, amazing. I don't know, what is Disruptor Shard good for? Because it's a weird one.
It's okay for like scouting out movements, like you can place it and if someone walks through it, it's like, oh, they're there, but it's one of the more redundant ones.
Medusa. Whoa, they see her. They get the call. They have the real one here. Now, do they have the damage to follow up with? They've actually already made the call to not follow up on that onto the high ground. Would have been a pretty crazy move. Just Gyro hanging out, not popping that ulti. Not popping that BKB just yet, sorry. I'm just gonna sit in the disruptor Thunderstrike. It's a tense game. It's a very, very tense game. BB definitely has the Medusa's number, but in that situation, not possible to follow up on the call.
It also helps the last two big Axe calls have always been Medusa plus Underlord, and the SD has got illusions of the Medusa hitting away during the call. So it's been kind of like the perfect storm for them. And now we're also seeing how BB3 PX, when he hits the big call, is still taking away a good chunk of the Medusa's mana pool, but not enough to, of course, really kill her off. You're not really expecting Axe to be that I've killed Medusa type hero. But at the base, when NAVI Junior, when they're hugging their tier 3s, you don't really want to be diving that far in, especially when Medusa can just have the protection plus the armor aura of her tier 4s. It's going to be quite the fight to take. But instead, they're actually opting to smoke out and look for the fight. Medusa picks up the MKB. She can now kill off her own illusions finally, after having Butterfly for 8 minutes or so. There is no Aegis. They do have high ground vision around this area, so if Moneymakers are just to kind of blindly run in, this is a NAVI Junior territory, but doesn't look to be the case.
I mean, who is the target for NAVI Junior's jump? Does it just have to be Gyro?
I think you want to isolate Medusa and Gyrocopter in a 1v1 duel to utilize Stone Gaze for sure.
Oop, here we go. Glimpse back onto the Necro. Just kidding, not here we go. Still just poking spells at each other.
We've also not really seen Static Storm come into big effect yet, so Radi's on this Disruptor.
Yeah.
He's going to need to try and stand up and get a good position. If he can hit that Shadow Demon, hit the Marcy, prevent them from just wreaking havoc in the fight, and that could honestly be enough to turn it. There might be an 18,000 gold lead, but nothing too unbeatable yet. Like, you got to have blind faith in Medusa. Both teams just skipping the waves. Like, all right, you're not gonna fight us. We're hugging this ward until you do.
Yep. Both teams
don't lose patience.
Where the other is.
Key thing here is both teams
over the enemy vision.
Exactly. Like, if either team gets impatient, that's when they're gonna lose the fight. You leave your vision, you enter theirs. With how big the map is, it's so easy to have some random lingering lane ward.
Now they see Eagle, they see the two of them. Nice chance to start things off. Where's the Disruptor ulti though? It's not coming in just yet, and no Ags regardless anyway, so they just get BKB'd by the Gyro. He actually popped it now. They're going in early because they managed to catch out the Medusa inside the core. Now they need to follow up with as much damage they can possibly muster. Eagle jumping in, everything being thrown at the Medusa, and everybody else just kind of dies around her. That was crazy. Everybody just died.
And then Ridley's with the old chat. Gyrocopter did 1,452 damage to Disruptor. Yep. Unfortunately, when you group up like that, you're gonna be going down. Yep.
Jesus. 7,300 damage dealt by the Gyrocopter. Yep, that'll do it.
The fight breakdowns are beautiful, or the death summaries for every hero. It's just a peppering of flat cannon on every single hero.
Yep. Wow. That's the thing, like, everything they used was on the Medusa, right? They weren't targeting any other hero. Everyone else was just a side thought, you know? Like, they were just a +1. That feels so bad when you're all just +1s. I'm not sure what caught out the Ember Spirit, to be fair. I didn't quite catch that one.
I think he got... I can't load up his death summary anymore, but either way, Moneymakers, super patient with how they played, and I think this Axe has just had NAVI Junior's number the entire game. I think Slayer plus Axe in tandem have completely removed Medusa's capabilities in this game.
And hey, you were asking yesterday about mirror matchups in Dota and what it would be like, and I think this has given us a glimpse because Gyro and Medusa have kind of just played the same role, right?
Yeah, they've been identical. I still think that there are scenarios where Medusa should be able to win this matchup, but it clearly feels that when you swarm to aid your Medusa, the flak just kills all her allies out anyway, so it's a pretty difficult one. I think in hindsight, if you're looking back to the draft now at this point in the game, maybe you're the coach sitting in the back room waiting to enter the next one, it's probably this like Underlord component of the lineup. I think Underlord is just it's like a fake counter to Gyrocopter. You're too slow in the game, you don't invade the triangle, your auras aren't as effective, so I think this hero would probably be the one to think about. But they are still going at it. They are mega creeps, but
one last hurrah, lads. But Roshan isn't up yet, and you're basically going to get flooded with creeps before you can even...
Yeah, so minute 20.
Yeah, they're kind of begging them to come fight. Come on, give us our last hurrah, please. And yeah, MoneyMakers say, yeah, all right, fair enough, we'll come in. We'll help you guys out. And here we go, another day, another call onto the Medusa, who just gets turned into Swiss cheese. See you later, buddy. GG is called. Game number 1, it goes to the MoneyMakers.
Yeah, very, very clean game from them. I think it was all down to that kind of tier 1 bottom siege from NAVI Junior where they lost the Medusa. That was kind of